Good evening and welcome to the Standards of Geekness podcast show. Tonight, we try to fix WrestleMania because, buddy, I don't know about you, but I am under fucking whelmed. Under
Well, I
fucking.
mean, I have been under fucking whelmed until today. Actually, Raw was actually pretty good today, bro.
I know that's the caveat I was getting to. SmackDown actually was not as horrible as it has been on Friday. Is it weird that I kind of dig the daytime Raw shows? Like I
Dude,
kind of wish it was the norm.
I was actually talking about this with a couple other wrestlers earlier today. That yeah, we're all loving the daytime shows, man. I'm cool with WWE staying over in Europe for a while. I like getting out of work and being able to watch Raw. Makes it
Yeah,
more
I mean,
convenient actually than having to stay up, extra late at night. Because what I'll do a lot of times I'll do the pods with you when we wrap up around 11. By the time I'm ready to start watching Raw, it's like 11:30.
yeah, and at that point, yeah. Forgive
Yeah,
me,
it better
guys.
be,
I'm just
and
making
then it
sure.
better be a good show, because
Yeah, I'm dropping down some social media links right now. As always, make sure you're subscribing to us on YouTube and over on the Big Dog Gaming 001 channel, where we're going to be doing a lot more streaming of Pokemon Pocket and Magic Arena and some Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I'm not really feeling that lately, just because of the way they've designed things, but it's still
uh,
a
Mas- Master Duel is a very difficult uh, game to love, and actually, I have an interesting conversation to have with you, not wrestling related, Evan. Totally about Master Duel, because I think you'll find it interesting. Um,
hey,
but
the
that's
plot
not
is
what
all
we're here. That's not
complete.
what we're here for. We're
Oh
here
my
for
God.
wrestling. So,
Daniel believes he turns chicken shit into chicken salad. No, Daniel, you are chicken shit. We'll bring you on here in a little bit, Dan, okay? We're gonna, I think, Brian, I've been mulling this idea over. We seem to have Dan on just about every week, and I kind of want to give the Marks their own corner, their own little, like, Ollie on the weather forecast from Family Guy. I want him to be our British Ollie.
all right. I guess he is a geek,
He is a geek. He's probably
and
the
and the and,
nerdiest geek
and
I
the,
know.
the standard is being a geek. So I guess we can go ahead and make him a real member of the show.
At this point, I think he's contributed enough, and I thought this. Yes, get on the corner, Mark. Make me some fucking money. we'll invite you on here in a little bit, Dan. So actually, before we dive into this, we were actually trying to multi-stream this on TikTok and Twitch at the same time. Your good old pal Evan is not as technologically sound when it comes to a new platform like Streamlabs, so I'm still learning it. I'm hoping by next week's podcast I have enough time to actually monkey around with it, and we can actually get Brian access as well. So we had a lot of hurdles, and TikTok did not make things easy. But
Yeah.
we're gonna be having a lot of fun with this, and I think that you guys will really enjoy it. I don't know about you, buddy, but I'm ready to kind of dive right in. You want to start with SmackDown?
Let's go, bro. Let's go.
So I'm gonna go right off here. A lot of people were shitting on Randy Orton's promo, putting Cody over, how it was too over the top, and about how it's weird how Randy's like a 14-time champ, putting over Cody, who's a one-time champ. But like, I don't think people realize that Randy's never been the face of the company. People are don't there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. Like the last true face of the company was Roman Reigns for 4 years, but he was a heel.
Hmm.
The last babyface one was John Cena, and that was 10 plus years ago. Before that, we had Austin and Rock, and then Hogan. There hasn't been a lot of precedence in the modern age for that. And I think people kind of just wanted to shit on it for the sake of shitting on it, if we're being honest. I didn't think it was too over the top. I thought he could have maybe like I thought it was interesting to say, hey, you took some real big fucking balls to do what you did and leave here to go make a name for yourself. I like when both programs reference each other. I think you're stupid to not know they exist and they don't exist. Um, back to the AEW is a thing. We're not really going to get into AEW tonight because we've both been, quite frankly, really disappointed with AEW lately. I'll have a caveat to celebrate with them later. They do have one good thing going for them.
Yeah, it's Tony Khan.
Well, okay, three good things.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was a really interesting way to connect Cena's biggest rival, Randy Orton, who's now a babyface. Hyping up Cody, getting him prepared for what he's going into, is facing John Cena at WrestleMania, which Randy's done a few times. Drew coming out, playing the heel role there, giving an interesting dynamic, setting up a match for later on in the night. I thought the segment was great. I thought it was really interesting how the main event played out there. Well, not main event, but the main event match. I want to get your thoughts. What did you think of the segment?
So the one thing I didn't like about it, and I've realized it's what I don't like about the Cody Rhodes part of the Cody Rhodes John Cena interactions, and it was the same thing tonight. Um, why are you smiling so much?
Yeah,
Like,
he beat your ass.
like, yeah, there seems to be a lack of intensity from the baby faces in terms of anger, and even tonight, Cody hit the crossroads on Cena and just kind of stared at him. Like he didn't jump on him and beat his ass the way Cena had, or even I would have loved if he just would have given him one of these.
Yeah, I
Like
thought.
give that
I
back
think
to
like
Cena. I think it would have been great.
I I think that's part of the problem. Also, is they're doing now what they should have been doing 3 to 4 weeks ago. Like right after Elimination Chamber, and that heel turn happened. That following Monday, Cena should have been in on that Raw to explain his actions, and they could have built more intensity into this. Like you can see where Cody's getting a little snarkier, but like he's not getting angry. Like if somebody beat my ass the way they beat Cody Rhodes' ass at Elimination Chamber, I'd be throwing hands on sight every time I saw you. I'd be beating your ass
Exactly.
till WrestleMania. It'd be on site. To quote our buddy Rob Roman and Hollywood Watkins, it'd be fucking on site.
Well, Cody has more fire in his belly for whatever the fight of the night is, the match of the night he's having. Than
Yeah,
his WrestleMania points.
and then like
Randy Orton, same kind of thing. Like I feel like Randy had, he's just kind of coasting till Mania. I do think that it is partially to do with the Mania being so far back in the month and there being this long stretch between Elimination Chamber and Mania where I feel like you had 3 weeks of storytelling that you're trying to stretch into 6.
yeah, well, it's like when we were doing the HKW stuff with with Outlaw and Ken Skull, like they built a year-long story, but they really only had about 8 months worth of story.
Yeah, exactly.
Timelines matter, and that's actually something that was reported earlier this week that production staff on SmackDown, a lot of the booking staff, creative staff, and wrestlers are very frustrated with the fact that SmackDown's a 3-hour show now, but it still seems like 99% of it's filler or like carryover from
Yeah.
Raw. And
Well,
that's
I don't understand that.
that's something we've been harping on for months at this point. Is that SmackDown felt like this is just the overflow from Raw. This week they did do some different things. They did connect some things. I really thought having the Secret Herbis, which I love that name. They're building them right. They're building this legit unit to back up Chelsea Green as the U.S. Women's Champion. I really want them to book them like right to censor, like just a female version
Yes.
of right to censor, and
So
like
great.
I think it would be hilarious if Chelsea started coming out there and like with like a pad and like it had the word tariff on it and started handing it to people in the crowd. I think it'd be hilarious.
Okay, I know this was a week ago. I know there was some heat online I saw about this, but El Americano or whatever he's calling himself, being
Just
billed from the Gulf of America. Look, I'm not trying to get political, and you know I'm liberal. I don't even like the whole Gulf of America thing, but that was fucking hilarious.
it was
There
hilarious.
are
It was
times.
bold. My issue with this is that like it feels super forced, and I would have saved something like this for when Chad Gable was like feuding with like Penta or Ray Phoenix, who's now coming on SmackDown. We saw here in a few weeks. Ray Phoenix will be there. I do like that they're keeping Ray Phoenix and Penta on separate shows at least for now. Let them build themselves up, and then they can come together as the Lucha Bros. But yeah, no, it's hilarious. I just I don't understand the whole concept of having him have American made and then having him do a Mr. America 2.0. Like it feels like they're doing a lot and
Oh,
like showing his range.
I know. It's what it feels like is like you're giving a proper, true like story to this group, and so by virtue of that, we want to care about them, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
then when they get out in front of the fans, when they're in the ring, you're treating them like the fucking job squad.
Mm-hmm. And the thing
And
is,
there's
the Creed brothers are extremely talented. Ivy Niles extremely talented. Obviously, Chad Gable is talented. Let that like this should be super super easy. Build them like Team Angle from the early 2000s. Have them wrestle. Have them feud for the mid card titles and tag titles, and build them.
the there's a basic art in storytelling that I think some people miss, and like let's just get it out there. The bad guys, and in this case, American Made, they're the heels, they're the bad guys. They need to be the ones on top at the beginning of the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's their rise to the top. It's them being on top. Because if you don't have those bad guys up on top, then there's no like where
It's a
there's
give
nothing
and
for the
take.
good guy to overcome.
Well, yeah, and it's a give and take. Like if you look at any classic story, there's always the villain gives you the reasons why to care for the hero. The hero gives you a reason to believe. And
That's right.
I think that's lost on the general wrestling audience. And I hated English class, in high school and middle school, even in elementary. I just wanted to read my books and write and be done with it. But like that's something I retained just from like a writing standpoint. Like I was never big on that, but like storytelling is a natural thing we as humans have done for millennia, eons. That's what our people stories are how we've passed on, myths. Stories are how we've passed on our traditions. Stories are how we've passed on, history. Literally has story in the name.
But these aren't these stories that they're telling right now are so watered down that they're missing the mark.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's honestly
I
that's a perfect encapsulation of this entire Mania season. Honestly, everything is so watered down, and it's watered down. It reminds me, those Stretch Armstrong dolls when you get them really wet and then you stretch them out and how they snap back and break. That's
mhm.
exactly what this reminds me of.
I the idea of the punt versus the pile driver. Um,
That's a story.
like yeah, I like the idea of the story. Unfortunately, and I maintain this. I said this weeks ago. I think you did it in the wrong order. I would be more like I'm more interested. I was more interested in Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn than I am in Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
You you gave away the 15 plus year story, and the one that you're trying to shove down my throat ultimately is the one that's like a year in the making,
yeah.
maybe at
I
best.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think Sami Zayn's going to pop back up at the Mania match and cost Kevin Owens the match to continue their story. It's just the lazy writing that I see happening. Um, I just I didn't. Nobody really asked for this match. That's kind of honestly that's a good
It
summary of
feels
it.
like it feels like a filler match because we needed something for Randy Orton to do. He's a big star. We needed something for Kevin Owens to do. He's a big star.
Could have had John
Sammy,
Cena versus
the
Randy Orton versus Cody. Done that as the triple threat.
oh, there's tons of ways that it could have gone. But that what you're suggesting right there falls into another problem that I feel this whole WrestleMania has, which is too many multi-man matches. Like,
Well, they're not so like you know me and you know how I feel about multi-man matches. Like it's all about positioning on the card. I personally don't care if there's two or three multi-man matches as long as they're done and presented in different manners. But what I don't want to see and what I really think is going to happen, and I'll get to it's a brief spoiler of how we fix Mania. I think we're going to get two main event multi-man matches. And it's not how I personally would book them, but I do think that's how it's going to happen. Um, I definitely agree with you on that, though. I definitely think, and the thing is they booked themselves into this corner where they've almost, the U.S. title, like the women's U.S. title scene actually isn't half bad. They've done a good job there. The men's U.S.
mhm.
title is a fucking hot mess, and I feel really bad for LA Knight. He's champion and he's over, but he's forgettable even being over because he's
he's
overshadowed
the
everybody in this.
well, the thing is LA Knight is a transitional champion right now. We
Mm-hmm.
all, I think we can all like it feels like a transitional championship, and really, cool. And it is sad because he is over. Like I agree with you, but I don't I don't think they're doing any favors right now with having like this title match, title match, title match.
All being
You
DQs.
know, every show, every
Mm-hmm.
show.
It's just lazy. And like, I'm, I started
LA
rewatching
LA
this.
Knight LA Knight should still be getting wins leading up to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Like
because otherwise
why?
you look like a bitch.
Like Braun Breaker's still getting wins.
Mm-hmm. Well, except for they lost a tag match tonight. Um, I I think you can do multi-man matches. I think you just have to be creative with how you're presenting them. And I went back and started rewatching some of the 2018, 2019 SmackDown when it was not half bad, and I realized they had a lot of multi-man matches, but they had compelling stories within them. Even the Vince bullshit. You know, Road Dogg knows how to book when he wants to. I don't get what's going on here. I don't know if it's just like they're in a holding pattern and trying to stretch this out. Um, I personally think
I
they
think
put a
that
little.
I do. That's what it is. Is they don't know how to get this amount of story and stretch it into this amount of story. It
I'll be honest.
it
I think they put too much star power at the top end of the cards. I think they need
mhm.
to redistribute it a little bit, and not everybody needs to be on the WrestleMania card, even as a champion.
Especially not when your roster is as filled out and stacked as it currently is. Like
It's the best it's ever been,
it
like in
really,
terms of
really is.
but like you can't sit here and tell me with logical reasons at this point the IC title is it's been presented as very much more important than the U.S. title.
Mm-hmm.
And with the women's, the U.S. title has been presented way better than the IC title. And I don't know if it's just not understanding the characters of the people that are involved. I don't, Lyra Valkyrie, bless her heart, she ain't it. Her character is vanilla and bland. No offense to her. I don't have a reason to care about her. They haven't given me a reason to care about the babyface in the situation. She doesn't have a compelling heel to work off of. I'm really hoping we get Bailey turning on her or Becky returning and turning on her to give me a reason to care about her.
Well, that's the thing is there should have already been a heel for her to go up against. Like we've
What are
been
we,
talking about,
3.5 weeks from
uh,
Mania?
we've already been talking about American Alpha. Like there was a story there that looked very compelling, and then they just threw it away.
They
Now,
had a
at this
really terrible
point,
match.
I don't know if I can be made to care about it again before WrestleMania. Um, Now, one match that I think they did do a very good job of making, they've done a very good job of making us care about is the triple threat between CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns.
Which you
Um,
and I were pretty lukewarm on when they first kind of hinted at dropping that. We were just like, doesn't really make a lot of sense, especially with no title involved. It doesn't. What's the point? The point is it's a multi-year story in the making, but like it also feels kind of like Punk is in the Dean Ambrose slot here.
mhm.
Like
Yeah, very much. That slot does very much feel like it's meant for Dean Ambrose. Like this match was always meant to happen, but Dean was supposed to be there. But
mhm.
I do see where Punk fits in with the way that they're telling the story. They've hit some of the right beats that we've already brought up here. Um, and I'm, the part where Heyman said, leaned in and said, "It's in there. You get to live your dream. You're main eventing the show." I think that's an important aspect to throw into a WrestleMania card. The fact that someone's dream can or is coming true. We had the boyhood dream of Shawn Michaels that was really big. The whole crux of the last 2 years was Cody finishing his story. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Um, but yeah, it's finished now. Whether you're happy about it or not is irrelevant. The point what is, I think part of the build towards WrestleMania is that feeling. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Definitely. I mean, we talk about like Shawn Michaels, the boyhood dream, and like his win in the Iron Man match at Mania. Like it makes sense, and I think it's lost on not only on the audience, but honestly, sometimes with WWE themselves, is these things matter. These storytelling mechanisms really matter, especially if you're trying to get your casual viewers interested in your story. You know, uh, Small little details. Honestly, the whole lead up with Austin versus HBK with Mike Tyson coming in, the no fear, attitude era type stuff, the ruthless aggression, there's so many layers with how you tell these stories, and that each one has so much value. Um, Interestingly, now that we're mentioning the triple threat, Punk walking by after Drew being slammed on a car windshield and getting real glass in his eyes and chuckling was pretty
Mm.
funny. Like I'm enjoying the nuance there. But yeah, like the ability to just like convey that this is Punk's boyhood dream, and the fact that Paul, when Punk was acknowledging Roman Reigns, Paul was like, "Don't do it, don't do it, like don't do it," was hilarious for so many reasons. Because it's like, is Paul gonna betray Roman and join Punk? Could he betray both and join Seth? The
Well, and
funniest,
and then I think it's real great that they threw in that line at the very end. thank you. I appreciate it all. I'm very excited. That wasn't the favor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I thought that was real. My favorite part about this whole thing is that like Seth Rollins is so angry about Punk getting to main event WrestleMania, and like he's crashing out about it, but like doesn't realize that he's also main eventing WrestleMania. It's just like he's taking him, Drew McIntyre, and Kendrick Lamar might be the haters of the year.
I love
Like,
that Kendrick Lamar gets tossed in there.
oh, you know Kendrick Lamar's on my playlist all day, every day.
All
But
day.
yeah, just I mean that's the one match honestly that I'm probably excited for in Mania. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with Cena and Cody. I think The Rock will appear. There's going to be something, some shenanigans. Um, I do find it weird. We can jump over to Raw if you want. Um, so Cena Cody finally an actual verbal exchange. Not only that, a physical exchange too.
And not only that, but you heard whose name finally got brought up.
It was
I
Dwayne the
know.
Johnson.
I mean, I do still wish that there was like some kind of follow up to that
Yeah,
because there still wasn't. Like they say, oh, you sold out. Who sold out to? You sold out to The Rock, but I still want to know why. Like all of this shit that Cena is saying, whether it's the shit he's saying to he said to Cody today, or the shit he is saying to the fans, it all feels very plastic because there's no connection between it and the throat cut, you know,
yeah,
launch the attack move that was given by The Rock.
yeah. That it's like a loose plot thread that I think they're leaving out there intentionally. Um, I just to me it feels like they're just leaving it out there intentionally for us to hope that The Rock will show up at Mania. I want to know why Cena joined forces with The Rock. Like he keeps saying about the mediocrity and honestly the verbal exchange was tonight. It was really good. Cena cooked, Cody cooked. Cody didn't back down. Cena embracing the burial thing was hilarious in my opinion. I like
Mm-hmm.
how they're taking the narratives about Cena from all those years and really spinning the narrative on its head. They're being creative about it. Um, Cena delivering all those like verbal jabs and not the the ha 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 joking manner, but like the very stoic, the very like fuck you, you're mediocre kind of shit. I thought it was great.
The line the line of the night to me was when he said that he makes empires for billionaires and Cody spends billionaire kids' money.
Yeah, that was a very direct shot at AEW. Like, I mean,
Like
and
I'm 100% sure that line was rehearsed,
yes,
that line was planned out. But damn, what a line!
yeah, and I mean, we shit on tribalism here pretty regularly just because we think it's stupid.
Hmm.
I don't think so. I think toxic tribalism is a problem. I think having a healthy, competitive, our guys are better. No, our guys are better. That's healthy for wrestling, in my opinion.
No,
But like,
if any, like, look, Tony Khan, the AEW locker room, they shouldn't be pissed off about this because what was happening all through that promo was open acknowledgement. They didn't say the name
mhm.
AEW, but it was open acknowledgement of exactly where Cody was and what Cody was doing.
They did it on SmackDown. They did it on Raw. And like you can't treat your audience like they're stupid. Vince did that for years. He assumed wrestling fans didn't have memories. He's an idiot. Billionaire, but an idiot.
What are you talking about? Lord Tensai is a completely original character. He's never
He
been in
has such
WWE.
huge grapefruits. He makes me want to do the Sasha Banks dance. Say ah. Sorry, guys. I could do a whole episode of just ripping on her character at this point. Like, I don't want to go down that path. We are about positivity and focusing on the New Day as heels earning their stripes to get their way back to the tag titles. I'm down for it. They
I'm
haven't really
down
done a
for
whole
it.
lot with the New Day since the Big E turn, and I feel like they didn't capitalize. And I mean, maybe that's an apropos summary of this entire build for everybody is their failure to launch and failure to capitalize.
All right. I gotta ask you the question though. We're talking about saving WrestleMania tonight, brother.
I know.
So when it comes to WrestleMania, do you want to see the New Day win the tag team titles?
Honestly, yeah. As heels, and boy, do I have an interesting one for you.
Oh, I think we might have the same idea. Are we both thinking of the same way to save WrestleMania?
It's never too early to feel the power and not be too sweet or sour.
Are we both thinking of a Big E heel turn at WrestleMania?
Uh-huh.
Oh, oh God, give it to me. Yes.
Yes.
This is 100% where I was going with this, and I'm so excited that you're on the same page. The idea of Big E coming out looking like he's going to cost the New Day the tag team titles and then rejoining his brothers in hate. I fucking love it.
Yeah. Obviously, if he can't wrestle, and I'm in my version, he's not able to wrestle. He's functioning more as a manager. But we'll get to that in a little bit. My favorite moment of the night for Raw was actually Gunther versus Jimmy. The match segment, like it not only showcased how deadly Gunther can be in the ring, it made him look like $1,000,000. Jimmy got to, he got ragged out a lot. He got chopped. He got busted open. And you know how sparingly they use blood. Jimmy was bleeding pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
Jay being handcuffed to the ring ropes while Gunther sits there and chokes him out. And like when you see Gunther stand up covered in Jimmy's blood,
That
I was like,
was a lot of blood too, dude. They got the visual they were looking for. It was all down his chest, all across his shoulders, his face.
so funny enough,
Like,
that actually what happened on Raw was exactly what I was going to do to start to kick it up into high gear. Literally exactly what I was going to do to kick it into high gear for that feud.
same, same.
So I'm glad that they're listening to their audience, and it makes me feel like I'm smart because I was thinking about that. But like, because when we talked last week, I was just like, I don't give a shit about this match. I want to give a shit about this match. I want to believe in Jey Uso. Yeet. But they haven't given me a fucking
Yeet.
reason.
Well,
Now
I
they
wouldn't say they. I wouldn't say they've completely given me a reason. Okay,
okay.
and I
They've
and
given
then
me
so we're
intriguing.
talking.
We'll talk about
We're,
that.
we're, we're, talk, we're talking about saving WrestleMania tonight. Uh, I know where I would like to go very much with the next 2 weeks with the Jay Uso Gunther story. I know how I think we can make this match mean more and get over. So I'm really excited to talk about that. But we can continue on Raw tonight. I'm excited to talk about that one though.
Well, yeah. Daniel asked, "Where's Ludwig Kaiser and all this?" Here's my response, Daniel. Catering. um,
Lost in the shuffle, man. Lost in the shuffle. That's what's gonna happen. Look, fans have to understand that guys on the mid card right now, guys in the main event right now, are gonna get lost in the shuffle a little bit because just an overabundance of talent. And I mean, realistically, one of the big things that needs to happen after WrestleMania is a shift across both shows and a reorganization in order to rebalance these rosters a bit.
Yeah,
Just
honestly,
saying.
I was thinking after Mania, we should do a post Mania analysis, but also like what we would do going forward. And I think that would be a good podcast episode in general, just because
Okay.
we've got two very different trains of thought when it comes to some things. Sometimes we're in alignment, but no, I'm wholeheartedly agree. I think there needs to be a clear division between both shows with minimal crossover. It needs to be at this point. I
Yep.
understand Netflix wants Cody and Gunther and like they want everybody over there. I don't give a fuck what Netflix wants.
You can't
SmackDown
have
needs
both champions.
you
You
can't have
can't
both.
have both champions.
Like at that point, just move SmackDown to Netflix, which I think is what's going to eventually happen.
Probably.
But Penta and Breaker versus Judgment Day. I've been saying this for weeks. I'm at the point where they need to break up the Judgment Day. I think they have overplayed their hand with this. I know Finn's teasing a new member, which I'm pretty sure is going to be Aleister Black. I don't think that Aleister joining Judgment Day is a good idea. I think it would be better to have Dominic just take it over and have it be him, Liv, Raquel, and Carlito, and have it be a different name. Move away, like.
Well, that might happen. That might happen too. Judgment Day under with Aleister Black and Finn Balor could very easily pick up a one more member, and that's the Judgment Day, and then you have whatever we call Dom and Carlito's group over here. JD McDonough, I'm not sure how far out he is from a return.
Broken rib and a punctured lung. I'd say he might be back by SummerSlam.
Back in action by SummerSlam, just
Yeah.
because
He might just be a better character. Yeah, so like Penta and Breaker lost to the Judgment Day in a tag match tonight. Interesting choice having Penta and Breaker take the L here. I don't think it accomplishes what they're looking for. I know they're setting up for some type of multi-man match at Mania with the IC title. That's what we both pitched months ago. And it's
I'm guessing Penta, Breaker, Finn, and Dom, all four.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna make it 6-man in my pitch. I'll tell you the other two in a little while. I do want to say I don't give two shits about AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. This just feels like hey, it's Mania. Let's throw him on there.
It's another filler match. And that match is right there alongside Randy. Well, I mean, even lower, honestly, than Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, because at least Randy Orton and Kevin Owens tried.
At least there's a story. And
Yeah.
Logan Paul, he's super athletic. I get why the WWE wants him on there. I would have just kept him off TV after Mania, and I would have just had him win Money in the Bank. That's exactly how you want to play his character. I would have him maybe be the third man with The Rock and John. If you really want to go that route, like Hollywood, like there's
I believe I said that one. Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways you can go. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Like, okay, AJ is gonna probably pick up the win. Okay, and the crowd went fucking miles. And honestly, that's kind of how I felt about the main event tonight.
Well, the sad part about it is Logan Paul can go, and like I actually believe that Logan Paul and AJ could have a phenomenal match. Pardon the pun, but
I don't.
But when we're talking about WrestleMania, and this is what we keep coming back to, it's more than just having a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Just having you're gonna have a 5-star match. Look, I got news for you. There are 5-star matches that happen all the time, with WrestleMania, it's supposed to be. It's
Bigger.
the end of a book. Like this is the end of a movie. We're gonna have a whole other movie after this. There'll be a sequel. Don't worry. But this is the climax of the movie.
This
This
is
is what it's all been building up to.
the Avengers Endgame level event.
Yes.
And it's got me kind of mad for the talents and for like us as the audience, because like it's not that they're treating us as we're stupid. It's just they're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And like for all the criticisms that we've levied against Tony Khan and his booking style, but like that's kind of the same thing. Like,
well, I think it's time then. It's time, Evan.
it's time.
It's time that we save WrestleMania.
Should I? You think I should invite the Nugget, the Golden Nugget, on for this?
Well, he is an official member of the cast now, so I suppose he can come on as long as he doesn't step on my Jey Uso Gunther idea.
That would require him to not have an Avengers level threat planning for his story.
TNA is invading at WrestleMania.
That was an idea that actually crossed my mind. I want that known. While we wait for Dan to join, looks like CJ Mundo. What do you think of the match? I mean, honestly, for me, it's probably going to be Punk versus Rollins versus Reigns. It's probably going to be the match of the weekend. I saw you posted a question earlier about what our favorite Mania moment is.
Like all-time favorite WrestleMania moment? Whew.
That's a good question.
All right, I'm gonna get heat. You ready? You ready for me to get some heat? I would have to say that just like single moments at WrestleMania, in that moment when it happened, when it was live, when I was watching it, and it hits different going back. I know, but the end of WrestleMania 20, Chris Benoit had won the championship. Eddie Guerrero had won the other title earlier in the night, and Eddie came out to the ring, and the two of them hugging in the center of the ring was a very cool WrestleMania moment to me. I don't know if that's quite what you're at, like what you're looking for, but as far as emotional moments, that honestly hit to me even more than like Taker, Shawn, and Triple H after the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, as a little kid, it was Warrior beating Hogan, for sure. I was a huge Little Ultimate Warrior fan. I hated Hulk Hogan with a fucking passion. So I always knew he was a fucking
Miss Elizabeth coming to save Randy Savage. That one made me cry. I remember. Like, I was so happy.
Honestly, mine is probably going to be that Iron Man match and watching Shawn Michaels complete his boyhood dream.
Got to get the dream in.
I mean, watching Cena beat JBL was also an emotional crux. I thought was really well done how they told that complete story. Batista versus Triple H was not a great match, but they told a really good story. Iconic matches, though. It's probably Austin Rock when Austin turned heel.
That's a great match.
The
I'm sorry, I love you super kick to Ric Flair.
That one hit me here, so I probably have to go with that one too. That's amongst my favorite. Well, the Golden Nugget has arrived.
It looks like my appearance at Water did help the show.
I don't think it was the appearance.
Well, what can I say? I turned chicken shit into chicken salad. It goes very hobby the last few weeks, and as soon as I actually go to a show, good content.
Whatever you want to believe, buddy. Yeah, so we're jumping into Mania season, how we would fix it. I know you've got a different perspective than Brian and I do. You're more of the WWE mark. You're their John Cena audience.
I mean, for the first time in my life, I booed John Cena, which was a weird experience at the show today. I like booing Cena. Yeah, just it felt uncomfortable, but
Well, yeah, it's gonna take a little getting used to. At least you only get a year of it.
I mean, he did break up with me. He said, "And I quote, I'm breaking up with you." So
I mean, yeah. We'll wait for Brian to rejoin us. Sorry, guys, been up for a while. So, did you get any sweet merch while you were at Raw, Dan?
I did. I did get a I did appear at War shirt, which is now in the wash because I accidentally spilled some Coke on it because I'm a goddamn idiot.
I'm glad that we can all agree on that.
Because I thought it'd be a good idea when
You're not talking, Brian. You're I don't think your mic's working.
So yeah, I was kind of getting really into the show.
Can you hear me now?
Ooh.
Can hear you now.
All right. Sorry about that. My headphones died. I had to pull out the corded ones here. A savage.
So yeah, I got really into the show. I got really annoyed with Gunther destroying Jimmy, which was really weird because I had no interest in the story. And that one moment when he was destroying Jimmy, I was like, got really into it. I was like, holy shit, he's gonna fucking kill Jimmy.
Well, like they should have been booking Gunther like German Samoa Joe. Gunther's gonna kill you. That's what they should have been doing this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's jump into Mania. So there's only 2 matches that I think deserve to stay, just because they are the main events.
Yeah.
I do think Punk versus Rollins versus Reigns. They've done a fine job. I don't think I'd really change too much there. I do wish it was for the World Heavyweight Championship. I've had multiple ideas here from myself. I believe Jay versus Gunther is going to kick off the show. If you're going to have Punk cash in the favor and have Jay win, maybe you do it then. Then Punk takes the World Heavyweight Championship into the main event.
See, I kind of got a different idea to that. I won't say what it is, but
I want to hear what Brian thinks, because I don't personally think they need to do this, but I could see them doing it, and I think the stakes do need to be there. There's just not a lot of. It's a bragging rights match in the main event. It overshadows not only the Royal Rumble winner. Ironically, neither Rumble winner is going to main event Mania.
No.
And I'm sorry, Rick, your daughter isn't going to main event WrestleMania this year. It's not happening.
Sorry, Rick.
So I think that it's okay to have an additional stake added to the Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk match. I would actually like to make that a number 1 contenders match for the Universal Championship. And I'd like to have CM Punk win.
Yeah. That was another route I considered, was just have night 1 be let's make it for, winner gets added to night 2. Or you just have it be a backlash.
No. I want to just have. I want the triple threat to just, because here's the thing. I'm thinking for the future. I'm a futurist. I'm always thinking for the future. And here's what I want to set up. I want to set up a situation where the number one contender for the Universal Championship is CM Punk, and the man who just won the championship and said he's going to take the title away and go home with it is John Cena. I want to flip the script on exactly what happened at Money in the Bank years ago. Because here's the thing. We have to bring this story back around, right?
Yeah.
I want John Cena to leave with the title.
I do too.
I believe that the only man who's capable of bringing him back should be CM Punk, because CM Punk came back to fight him. Like, there's a level of, because with John Cena's character, even as a heel, he's trying to keep this level of honor, to his actions. And to do that, you still got to hold up your end to a certain degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I'd like to go with that. I find it interesting that, overnight, Dan bought into the Yeet Nation, where I do think that this was a necessary beat for the story. I've been calling for this for a couple of weeks now, actually, for Gunther to just beat the holy shit out of Jimmy, and how that I know will fuel Jay going forward. This is a moment where I kind of wish that Sami Zayn was still there, because I think he could have gone and done a twofer. You could have. That's where you could. This whole thing being drawn out like this, if he would have done to Sami Zayn last week and then done to Jimmy tonight, that's even more fuel for that Jey Uso fire. Now, here is my problem with this storyline and where we're at. Back in November, we established that the bloodline has cohesion. We have a tribal chief. We have a tribal chief. And a member of the tribe just got fucking put down.
Right.
Next week on Raw, this is what I want to see, okay? I want to see Roman, Solo, Jacob, Tama Tonga all show up on Raw, march right into Jay's locker room and go, "We're here for business. We're here to whoop Gunther's ass." Like, you mess with a member of the family, you mess with all of us. We're here to do it.
It's interesting you went that route. So, kind of similar to what I was thinking. So, in the lead up to the match with Gunther and Jay, Jimmy just got obliterated. Jimmy's not going to be at Mania. Over the next few weeks, I want to have Jay cross paths with every member, Roman, Solo. I want to have him have a phone call with Sammy. I want to have him cross paths with Punk, because Punk was an honorary bloodline member for a night. I want to have Jacob Batu, Solo, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. I don't want to have them get physical with Gunther. Because having them get physical with Gunther might undermine Gunther's credibility.
Mm-hmm.
What I want is, and then at the night of Mania, since he's opening the match, have him start in the crowd, have him go through the arena and come across them, and have each one of them acknowledge him on his quest to beating Gunther, to pep him up, to hype him up along with the crowd. And I want him to just go out there and just beat the brakes off of Gunther, to where Gunther's kind of like, not chicken shitting, but he's like wearing down a little bit. Then Gunther flips the scripts, get a little dirty. Ludwig Kaiser can come out, get involved.
Jimmy comes out.
Lays out Ludwig Kaiser, spear, frog splash, 1, 2, 3, and you're a world heavyweight champion, Jey Uso.
See, I do it differently. See, I want to have what I want to do is I want to have that whole bloodline come in ready to go after Gunther, ready to do business, old bloodline style, and for Jay to step up to Roman and say, he's mine.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat him. I'm going to beat his ass. What I want to know from you right now is I want to know, do you believe me?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that I'm going to go and I'm going to win at WrestleMania? Do you believe that I'm going to whoop his ass? Do you believe I'm going to bring gold back to our family? And for Roman to look at him and go, I do now.
Yeah, and that's actually, funny enough, that's exactly what I wanted to hear from Roman in that. I want Roman to be that final person he crossed paths with on the way into the event. Like, that's it, word for word almost, exactly what I had in my mind.
Because that approval from Roman is that one thing that has eluded Jay through every main event quest he's gone on. It's the pre-approval from Roman Reigns, the acknowledgement, I know you can win this. I know you're going to win this. The closest thing that he got to that was Roman looking at the Usos together and saying, I know you're going to go out and you're going to win those tag team titles. And they did.
And I think that's a perfect way to kind of close that storyline out. I don't think the money is in having Jay be a long-term champion. But I think that that's the correct way to tell the story. I think you could probably blend our two ideas together, and you'd probably have a really good, believable story over the next couple weeks. With Cody versus Cena. So
this is going to get a little rougher. This is going to get a little rougher because we don't get to use Cena anymore.
Yeah, he's done. We won't see him until Mania, and then in Grand Rapids.
But they never said we can't see him through video.
And if you remember a few weeks ago, via satellite was the whole thing I pitched. I would just have him literally pull right from The Rock's playbook of live via satellite. Have him become The Rock. Have John Cena become the thing he hated the most. The New York Yankees, as Punk framed it. Cody laying him out tonight was the correct call, in my opinion. It's how I would have done it because he got his ass beat at Elimination Chamber. There's no justifiable reason why he should end up on his back again. My problem is, and this is, Cena needs a get back leading into this. I don't think we see Cena, but you know who I would want to see?
The Rock.
I'd have The Rock show up and beat the holy shit. Have Cena distract him, be a satellite, and then I'd have The Rock show up and beat the holy shit out of him, whip him, whip him again, remind him whose champion he was supposed to be. I would bring that element back to the story, and then this is where they need a third man. Honestly, this is probably the most complicated one. They need a third man. You've got a lot of options. I'm not sure who it could be. Logan Paul would be a great choice. You could do Carmelo Hayes if you wanted to. You could do The Miz. You could do both of them. Have them be a tag team. Have it be like a Hollywood kind of thing. You're not going to have the physicality over the next couple weeks. It's just going to be verbal sparring. That'll only get you so far. You need the physicality somewhere. How I would handle it after The Rock beats his ass, I would have The Rock force Cody into situations going into Mania against past Cena rivals, each week being more and more dire. Have him defend the title. First week against Randy Orton. Second week against, trying to think who's active that was a Cena rival. Have it be The Miz.
Carlito.
Yeah. Have it be against The Miz and have it be like maybe a bull rope or a strap match or something like that on a SmackDown.
Could do Sheamus.
It'd be a good way to use Sheamus too. Have Sheamus, because we've got like 3.5, 4 weeks before Mania. Have him use past Cena rivals, and on that final go home, have Cena surprise us after Cody miraculously pulls it out against one of his most fearsome rivals, and have John Cena bloody Cody again going into Mania. You got to have the physicality, and it's complex. This is the hardest one of all of them.
The only thing I would add to that is I would make sure it's Randy, because I feel like having that stare down between the two going into Mania kind of teases like.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get, once Cena wins the title, there's two options that happens here. If Cena wins the title and takes the title and goes home, we just have him taunt throughout the year, I'm the last world champion, and Punk could win a new world championship, and then they could, have a title versus title match at some point. It's kind of lazy, but it does right itself.
Yeah.
We're going to get probably Randy versus Cena at some point before he retires too, at least one more time. This was the hardest one of all of them.
So for me, when I'm looking at this, I think part of the issue is the emotional stakes don't feel right. Cody's response didn't feel right the night after, a couple nights after, a week after tonight. It still didn't feel right. But you could see that tonight specifically, Cena was almost trying to lay these seeds of doubt within Cody about what Cody did, about Cody leaving, and the difference between the two of them as champions, what they both mean as champions. And I think that over the next couple of weeks, I would try and emphasize on that aspect. Show how not only they're both different champions, but they're both champions of different eras. That the John Cena hustle, loyalty, respect, bright color era is over. No matter what anyone wants to think, that era is in the past. It's done. And even the John Cena we're getting now is a different John Cena. That's the emphasis we need to have. The same way, Hogan may have had, he did his whole little comeback thing with the red and yellow, whatever. But it still wasn't the same. There's a stark break in time between the Hulk Hogan era of say your prayers and eat your vitamins and the Hulk Hogan era of the NWO. Like a stark contrast. John Cena has the same kind of stark contrast going on with the fact that he did turn heel, what that means for the storytelling, but it also sets apart the different eras. Let's focus on the eras and show how they're different and what that means, because that's going to be how we tell the story again moving forward. Is what era are we creating now? This is our time. Our time is now. You know what I mean? To steal the John Cena line. I think another thing that one thing I would really like to see in the lead up to this, and I personally want to see this on the Go Home Raw before Mania. Well, I mean, that's what Go Home means. I want to see Ric Flair.
Yeah. I was going to say
that. In the audience at WrestleMania 41.
He is supposed to be in the audience for WrestleMania 41, but I would like to see him come out on Raw. And I think that it would be awesome to have a moment where Flair can look at Cody and say, I hated your dad. Everyone around here, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Everyone around here says nice things about your dad. I hated your dad. when it came to what we represented, your dad and I were on completely opposite sides of the spectrum. I didn't respect your dad. I didn't like your dad. And it's been hard as hell for me to respect you because of your name. It's been hard as hell for me to like you because you have that stupid blonde hair like your dad. But I do. You made me respect you because of what you bring to this championship. You carry this championship with honor. And I am asking you as a favor to me, do not let John Cena ruin everything that I put into this, that you put into this, and that your father put into this.
Did say he was going to ruin wrestling. That would be a really good way to do it. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was definitely the hardest one to really wrap my mind around because they kind of really didn't give us a lot of options with the last 4 weeks of booking.
No, it's a very hard spot, and I do think, but like John Cena is looking to end professional wrestling. That is the threat that needs to be emphasized. And that needs to be made more of a threat than what it was tonight, quite frankly.
Lost on Nugget. Did the little Nugget go to sleep?
It's past his bedtime. He was up cheering really loudly. He kept saying Joe Hendry, hoping he would appear, but he didn't.
There's a masturbation joke there. I'm not gonna. Yeah. So the U.S. title. 3 weeks is not a lot of time to solve this. How I would do it? I would vacate the title. I would host a turn. I would either vacate the title, or I would have LA defend the title at Mania. When I would host a tournament where the winner would be Jacob Fatu, and then I would have Jacob Fatu beat LA Knight at Mania or win the title at Mania. Have Solo turn on him, walk away with the title, and then set up your future there. They have not given us much to work with. I don't think this needs to be a multi-man match. I think a tournament solves it. You could have an 8-man tournament over the next 3 weeks, and then on the go-home SmackDown, confrontation LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. LA Knight can stand tall. Maybe Solo Sikoa does something stupid or bumps Jacob out of the ring somehow or clotheslines him somehow. LA Knight can stand tall. He gets to look good, not like a chump. And then I would have Jacob Fatu beat him clean at Mania. Build to the future. There's not really a whole lot you can do with all sides.
My problem with this has all just been the look. There's been too much. A lot of this has been like a rapid fire. It's felt like a machine gun every week. Here's all right. We're gonna have our title match. We've had our title match. We've already announced who the #1 contender is. They're having a title match next week. You better be ready to go. And don't get me wrong. Like I like having title matches on my shows, but there is something to be said about also having some title matches that are foregone conclusions. Like, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page would defend the United States title on Nitro every week. But when he's defending it against Disco Inferno, you already know what the result is going to be going in. That's okay. We're all right with that because the title is still technically being defended. That's kind of the point. In the same way that I'd like to see the world title defended, on Raw or on SmackDown. Not every week, but occasionally.
Yeah. Hell, I'd like to see some title changes happen on Raw or
Hmm.
SmackDown. Like, it's okay for champions to lose, guys. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Um, Ironically, the IC title match. Simplest solution here is my goal is to protect Braun Breaker. He's done a
Oh,
good job.
real quick, just want to say I disagree with you. I would actually have Solo screw Jacob at WrestleMania. I'll let LA Knight go over with the title,
I thought about.
and
I
I don't think there's enough time before Mania. I just don't think there's enough time before Mania.
there's
That's all
not.
I was saying.
Like, I was just trying to think of a way to fill 3 weeks, honestly. Um,
That's fair. That's fair.
and with a future goal in mind, where Solo can, the title. Maybe don't even have to vacate it. You just have the tournament, and then you
It's
could vacate it and have Solo and Jacob fight over it. Have it at Backlash. Jacob gets his dub back.
it's actually too bad because you could actually take matches that you've already got. Like if you said you were gonna do a 2 night thing where like we were gonna do this like little mini tournament on night one of Mania, and then did a United States Championship match on night two,
It would
like
work.
that match between AJ Styles and Logan
That
Paul being being a U.S. title tournament match.
makes
Now I'm
sense.
much more interested in it.
Yeah. Um, Funny you should mention them because the IC title match. My goal here is to get a new champion and protect Braun Breaker. Those are my only goals. Braun Breaker's been a stud. They've booked him well. I would have AJ Styles and Logan Paul join Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker in a multi-man ladder match. TLC,
That'd be an awesome match.
and I would have either Penta or Logan Paul win the belt because those are the two. The easiest stories to build future forward would be those two. I
I
personally was
real
leaning with Logan Paul.
I really want to see Dominic Mysterio walk out of this with the title.
I do too, and I thought about that. And if you remember when we pitched our Mania ideas a few months ago, I had Dominic and Logan Paul being being the two options. They haven't really done a lot to make me believe that Dominic can win this yet. I think we're going to see a Judgment Day implosion. Something's going to happen.
Honestly, I think that's kind of the way they've. I think they're trying to do it though, because I don't think they want you to believe Dominic will win. So like, if he does win, you're like, oh.
You
Shit.
still need a little bit of a level of credibility behind someone winning a championship. You can't just like, here you go, the Milan Miracle, like every fucking time.
Every time.
And I mean, I had an idea where TNA did invade on Mania Night 1.
I don't think
Like,
they do.
I did think about that being like a good way to like really throw things into chaos. But I realized that was
See,
probably too much.
yeah, I think that'd be too much. But next month, like a month removed from WrestleMania at Backlash, I would be all about it.
Well, I think the simpler solution and the other idea I had, NXT usually does a takeover Mania weekend too.
Yeah.
TNA invades then.
The only issue there is I hear that that show's going to be held quite a bit earlier. Like they're
I think
like
4
the
p.m. 4 or 5 p.m.
I've just heard that it's really early and that the wrestlers are not happy about it.
Yeah. Well, because I think they're doing NXT Takeover and then Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame same night. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Which makes sense. It's Vegas. NXT has a lot going for it. Honestly, that they've been the most compelling thing consistently with WWE lately. I think TNA needs to get some get-backs on this relationship. An invasion angle where they've already had Moose, their X Division champion, lose to Obafemi.
Well,
I would have-
Ethan Page did just show up on TNA like
and
last week. Just saying.
That's true. That is true. I do think that the one problem here is Joe Hendry is World Heavyweight Champion in TNA. He's a babyface. Obafemi versus Joe Hendry could be entertaining, but like, you run the risk of turning Joe Hendry heel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Oba is over.
So here's what I would do. TNA Mutiny. So essentially you have some of the heels of TNA band together and invade NXT. Not the faces, because you don't want to turn something like Joe Hendry, heel.
Yeah, they already beat the next highest guy up in Moose. Like,
True.
it'd be one thing if they had to be a non-finish.
Which I definitely do think you can definitely have him as a heel. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think he does his best work as a heel. So I think you could definitely have him be like this lead of this like mutiny version of TNA. And maybe you have like the TNA faces and maybe like the management be like, no, we have no part of this. We have no word. We try to tell them no, but they're on their own. They're doing their own thing. We can't do anything much about it. But then maybe like down the line, if you want to do a full invasion, maybe they get on the same page and they're like, you know what? Let's just agree.
Well, personally, I haven't watched a whole lot of TNA lately, but I honestly would have Nick Nemeth show up as a heel, and I would have him beat Obafemi down with a steel chair.
That sounds good.
I would add.
Then
Ryan.
It'll lead towards the NXT guys. Oba can, he's the ruler of the tribe. He can bring the tribe together. They can overcome TNA. There could be some back and forth. You could build a whole PLE type thing where, it could be worlds collide. And I think that writes itself too.
You just know, like AW fans be like, oh, they stealing an idea like Forbidden Door. They're stealing ideas.
Oh, because WWE didn't get invaded by WCW and ECW.
Yeah, I was gonna say ECW invaded in the 90s.
Yeah,
like invasions are nothing new, and if AEW fans think they have some kind of corner on that market,
AEW fans are what ruin AEW. Shut the fuck up. Do fucking better. Book fucking better, you dumb fucking marks.
Tony, my number's still available if you want to help me fix your show.
Now he's stealing my fucking bit. You give him an inch, he goes the whole fucking mile.
You know what, Dan? You're
I don't hate Tony.
You're in timeout. You're in timeout now. You don't get to steal Evan's bit. Okay? Do fucking better. Do fucking better, Daniel.
No, I don't hate Tony Khan. I just genuinely hate the whole tribalism thing here. And I'll bring Dan back on. Every time. I want you to know I can see you doing that. I don't hate Tony Khan. I want AEW to succeed. And I don't want everybody here to think we just shit on AEW all the time. I do want to celebrate something for them before we go further into WWE stuff.
Tony Storm.
It was announced that AEW's max numbers are averaging about 500,000 per week for Dynamite. Combined with their cable numbers, puts them at 1 million to 1.2 million on average for the last, I think, 3-4 months. Huge success. They're now having their pay-per-views on Amazon Prime. Huge success for them. I want them to do good. Maybe I'll consider going to the show in Detroit, but they've got a lot to fix.
I'm really happy that they're getting the ratings numbers that they're looking for. That doesn't forgive the egregious writing that we've seen for the last couple of months. Okay.
I would rather trust Mike James in a strip club with a stack of ones than their.
Oh God! Wait, hold on. Wasn't Mike James? It doesn't Mike James watch this though? Oh no.
Yes, that's the point.
Yeah, he does.
Our audience too.
Sorry.
If our
Mike.
audience thinks I won't I give you guys shit all the time. I'm gonna give our audience shit. I literally have Chris's name in our chat as assless chaps. Like I razz myself. I'm not.
That reminds me. I'd like to take this time to send a special shout out to you, Dragon Queen. I know you're out there. How you doing, Valentine?
How you doing?
Ah,
Yeah. So the other hard parts of fixing Mania. I'll be honest with you. The women's division as a whole, outside of the Chelsea Green and Secret Herbis, it's kind of a mess.
yeah.
Let's start with Charlotte and Tiffany.
Charlotte and Tiffany is a damn near unsalvageable situation because unlike the other matches that were leading up to this one, those are an issue of maybe needs a different story beat here or there. You know what I mean? Whereas this one is, we need a full fucking overhaul. No matter what way we look at this,
it's a shit show.
It's a shit show. You're throwing two Barbie dolls into a blender. That's what's going on here.
I mean, especially after Friday when, Charlotte pretty much buried Tiffany. And it's like, I understand you're trying to give her heat and stuff, but it just made her look stupid. It was like, it felt like a sink or swim for her, and it just made her look stupid.
The problem is Charlotte doesn't need heat.
And for some reason,
Charlotte's got heat. We need to believe in Tiffany Stratton.
The problem is Tiffany Stratton's character doesn't fit a babyface.
No.
And that's what I've been saying this whole fucking time. It made no sense to have her challenge her. It would have made more sense to have Bianca challenge Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
Run the Triple H versus Booker T type storyline from WrestleMania 19 minus the racism.
I mean, I still feel Nia Jax
minus the racism
would have made more sense.
Yeah, I'll call it like I see it.
Charlotte Flair should not realistically have ever been put into this match, and it's not. I kind of feel bad because, it's not even really Charlotte Flair's fault. Like, she got shoved in here, but it's you came back. You already were an entitled, you were already viewed, whether you are or are not, you are viewed by the general audience as entitled.
You're viewed
as a nepo baby.
Yeah, it's just egregious, and how they've handled Rhea with losing the title to EO.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go that route, if this is what you're on, then you need to have Rhea have that coming to earth moment after losing the title, like she did. But then you can't book her like a monster anymore. You need to book her as a sympathetic babyface.
As much as I hate they would have to do
this, I'm trying to figure this out. Wait, can someone help me out with this? I'm really trying to. Who's the heel?
Nobody.
They're booking Rhea like the heel.
They're booking her like the heel, but she's not the heel. She's still a babyface.
Like the reaction she's getting from the crowd, she's still a babyface. The problem is they're
Bianca feels like the most like the heel somehow.
She's getting the most boos.
Yeah.
I would turn her heel.
But you're not going to do that because
I think I would turn her heel.
I think in WWE's mind is they want, because she represents the black community, you don't want to have her turn heel for some reason. So I think that's why I want to keep her as a face, which is like
I would have Naomi come and help her win the title.
It was always the plan.
That's how I fix it. Keep it simple. Have Naomi in the triple threat that they've insisted upon fucking having. Have Naomi take out both Rhea and Io. Have Bianca pin Io, and then you set up a feud for Bianca versus Jade.
That's interesting. I like that.
And they haven't done themselves any favors with the IC title, because now it looks like we might be getting Bailey and Lyra Valkyrie versus Liv and Raquel for the women's tag titles. But like
Bailey feels really forced in there. I just gotta say.
Yeah.
it feels like a Becky Lynch placeholder.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
maybe I've just been missing a couple of weeks of television, but like, what the fuck am I talking about? Is she on NXT or is she on the main roster?
She's back on NXT. They just didn't have anything for her on the main roster.
So wait, they teased her feud with Bailey, but then they sent her back to NXT anyway.
Yep. Welcome to the WWE, where the rules don't matter and everything's made up.
I was thinking, I was like, hold on, where is Rock there? Surely she was feud with Bailey. Like,
And that would have been a money feud. I personally think if you're going to go this route and have Bailey and Lyra in the match, add Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross from the Wyatt Six. Make it a triple threat tag team title match. Have Bailey turn on Lyra. Or have Becky be her partner and turn on her. Set up at Backlash, Becky or Bailey versus Lyra. You get a clean break there. You get Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross getting the tag belts off of Liv and Raquel. It's not a clean fix. It's not what I want to do. I just don't. None of these are easy.
This whole. I pitched this idea to Evan like a week ago, and then I dreaded it ever since. This whole exercise has been
mind
trying. Yeah.
Like, I was on my lunch break today at work, just running through scenarios, and I was just like, once I got past Cody and Cena, I was just like, man, I'm exhausted. Took a break.
Yeah. And I think ultimately what it comes down to is like, even for us looking at how to save WrestleMania this year, ultimately we recognize that WrestleMania is remembered by a handful of those big marquee matches. Those are the matches that we need to focus on saving the most. Your Gunther versus Jey Uso, get all of it you can, you know. The triple threat with Roman and Punk and Rollins, get as much out of it as you can. Cena versus Rhodes, get as much out of it as you can, because beyond those three matches, every single match is going to get harder and harder and harder to swallow. It's going to be a long weekend.
I will say this feels very much like WrestleMania 31, where you have some good matches on the card, but not enough that can we save it.
I would have put it more closer to 29.
Oh yeah, no, 29 was a bad one because that was just Cena and Rock 2, wasn't it? And then,
yep,
yeah.
That's literally the only good marquee match on the entire card.
Yeah, I mean, what did you have? Was it Edge versus Alberto Del Rio, or was it Swagger versus?
Yeah. Edge and Del Rio were at 27.
Yeah, so it must have been what?
Yeah, that was the second Cena and Rock. And then we also had Brock Lesnar versus Triple H, no holds barred match.
That was good.
CM Punk versus Undertaker, which was the match of the night.
Yeah.
Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger.
That was it.
Which was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I mean, I used that match as a toilet break. that was generally shit.
Yeah, ugh. Yeah, because we got Big Show turning heel on Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
On Cena, I mean, excuse me. We have. Oh yeah, this was the one where Lesnar attacked DX, and Shawn Michaels was also hyping him up, and
Was this the Fandango one, or was that the year before?
The Shield challenged Randy Orton, Sheamus, and they recruited. Yeah, because it was Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Ryback versus the Shield.
Yeah, no, that was.
Ryback. That's how you know it was quality time in WWE's history.
Yeah, this was Jericho versus Fandango.
That was it. I was like, sorry, is this the one where Fandango debuted?
And then we had The Miz versus Wade Barrett.
Yeah, what the fuck? I forgot about that match. even existing. Like, I didn't realize they actually had a Mania match.
Oh God, I forgot about this. The Bella Twins and the Rhodes Scholars, Damian Sandow.
Oh no! Wait, is that the one? Wait,
We're
what's
supposed
that?
to-
Wait, hold on. I just gotta say, I loved the Rhodes Scholars.
Oh, yeah,
Damian
that was
Sandow. Damian Sandow was so fantastic. I mean, obviously Cody Rhodes we're still all, infatuated with. But
He was
Damian
bad.
Sandow, man, like,
I mean, wait, wasn't that the one where like Cena basically said, "I need to go to the toilet. How long will that take? 6 minutes?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll take 6 minutes," and he just goes to the toilet while they did their match. I think it was because I remember like their match was meant to be cut, and then Cena just used that time to go to the toilet before his match. If I remember right.
Yeah,
I remember he was talking about it.
I have heard that story.
I still find it quite funny though, the fact that they managed to get a match in there before Cena's main event, which was quite insane. How Cena managed to hold up the show. Nobody else could do that.
That's how bad that show was. Like everybody shits on 27, but like 29 was honestly worse in my opinion.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think 25 doesn't get enough hate towards it. Like, there's a good match to show on it, but I still think 25 is quite bad as well.
So here's an interesting topic. Let's rank the worst WrestleManias and the worst WrestleMania matches of all time.
Oh God. Brian's like, what the fuck? Where's this come out of?
Brian's like, I hate you. I hate you.
Why can't I have nice things? Why are you gonna make me watch all these bad matches?
Because if I have
All right.
I did have to watch the Attitude Era, which are so very, very much a lot of bad matches. And
All right. Well, I guess I gotta go put in WrestleMania 2. I'll see you guys later.
I don't know.
I mean, I think you were saying WrestleMania 27 because that was Wednesday. I mean, that was pretty much the dog shit.
WrestleMania 2 is pretty bad. WrestleMania 9 is pretty bad. 13 is pretty bad.
Which one's the one where they had like 3 different?
Is it 14? I thought it was 13.
Which one was the one they had like 3 different arenas for WrestleMania?
That was WrestleMania 2.
That's I thought that was.
Yeah, I've already brought it up. Yeah, I know my WrestleManias, Daniel. Thank you.
Yeah. That one was pretty bad. 27, 29.
I want to say WrestleMania 19 is quite bad, in my personal opinion.
You mean 20 or 9? You mean
19?
What?
Is this really the hill you want to die on, Dan?
Yeah.
It is. It is. And people will.
All right, Evan. He asked for it. Go ahead. What is the card for WrestleMania 19? Let's hear it real quick here.
So this one had Matt Hardy version 1.0 with Shannon Moore versus Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title.
That was a classic, I believe.
2-on-1 handicap match. The A-Train and the Big Show versus The Undertaker.
Bad.
That was a horrible match. I'll give you that one.
Women's triple threat. Victoria with Stevie Richards versus Jazz versus Trish Stratus.
Average for me.
Team Angle versus
Wait.
Chris Benoit.
Hold on. You do not get to call a Trish Stratus in her prime match average ever.
That's not her
No. Dan, you lost. You just lost Gryffindor 10 points. Okay, you never, ever insult a Trish Stratus match in the Attitude Era. I can guarantee you right now, if you go watch a Trish Stratus match from the Attitude Era, I guarantee you'll at least find 2 reasons it's a great match.
No, because I know most of her early stuff was absolutely dreadful to watch.
Dan?
You two are are binging on nostalgia. It is not good. I'm sorry.
No,
Like,
you're missing his
at the
joke.
start, her stuff
You're
was
missing his
bad,
joke. You're
but
missing
in
his
the end,
joke.
yes, it got better. Like by the end of her career, she got a lot better.
Nothing goes over Dan's head. His reflexes are too quick. He would catch it.
God damn, he's the real life Drax.
Dan, I'm gonna try this one more time with you, okay? Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit slower. Go back to the Attitude Era and watch any Trish Stratus match, and I guarantee you'll find at least 2 reasons it's a good match.
You see, that's your problem. You just focus on 2 things. I like to focus on multiple things. That came out wrong.
This kid's an idiot. This is you are. Dan has embarrassed all of the marks across the wrestling world tonight. I know each and every one of you love Trish Stratus's assets.
Puppies!
Puppies!
Her tits are not that good.
I don't know if I'm more shocked that made it to air, or that you're stupid enough to believe that what you just said is accurate.
For those of you that
That's like wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I gotta say, saying that she is not as talented as she is in that aspect is like saying that Velvet Sky didn't have a nice ass. Okay. It's just. Excuse me?
I couldn't have timed that better if I done it. Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that is it for Daniel's short run on the Standards of Geekness podcast.
He was a member for a while.
Oh my god.
I think that's where to end it tonight. I don't know where to go from here.
That's a wrap. Join us next week for the Standards of Geekness take on the worst WrestleMania of all time. Hopefully, Daniel can understand the gravity of saying things and realizing I had control of the mouse.
Oh my gosh.
Remember to go to enforcechew.com. Use the code StandardsGreatness25. Get yourself 25% off your next order of Enforced Chew. It'll make you
HARD. And at least this time when an angry wrestler ends up in somebody's Instagram DMs, it won't be mine.
And also, Sable's not hot.
What'd you say?
Now, Sable's not hot?
You're going to have Brock Lesnar in the UK.
Why don't you just go piss off Sable's husband some more? Jesus Christ.
We're going to remove Daniel from the chat because he keeps saying stupid shit. As always, man, you give him an inch, he takes a mile. He ruins a good thing. We try to give him a little bit of credibility. And he comes over here and he shits on the floor like a monkey. Like a monkey. You throw him in a
I'd like to say that Daniel does not speak for the Standards of Greatness podcast. Here on the Standards of Greatness podcast, we love you, Trish Stratus. We love you, Velvet Sky. I got nothing, man. Let's get the hell off here.
I will see you guys next week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.